Shalom. I want to first start off by giving all praise. I want to say, Kol Halor, Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, Harakah, Kodash, Barakatham. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, the true teachers and leaders of all Israel today. If you can receive it, Shalom to the Akim and Akwat out there listening and learning. Shalom to the Confusion of Faith brethren out there, and shalom to all the Akim around the four corners of the earth that's pushing the truth, risking their lives and freedom to do so. This is the brother Yahweh Sap out of the GMS Cleveland Church once again with another lesson out of the Bible. I'm doing a series out of this MacArthur's New Testament commentary. So I'm gonna try and finish out the chapter. Salakia, phone going crazy. It's probably Satan. But like I said, through the spirit and Salakia, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai, try and do this lesson and finish it out. Continuing where I left off, it says I'm in the sub chapter or the title. I'm in the chapter 8, and the subtitle is The Crisis of Temptation. So I'm reading out of the book of Mark. Salakia. Ooh, the book of Matthew, chapter 4, when Yahushua was tempted in the wilderness by Shantan. And continue where I left off. Yahweh's people are never justified in complaining and worrying about their needs. If we live by faith in him and in obedience to his word, we will never lack anything we need. And my power shall supply all your needs, Paul assures us, according to his riches and in glory in Mashiach Yahushua. I'm going to get that real quick. As he's quoting Philippians, or they're quoting Philippians 4:19. But my power shall supply all your need according to his riches and glory by Christ and Mashiach. Salaki, by Mashiach Yahushua. So at the end of the day, in his truth, at the end of the day, brothers that's been in it for a long time, I've heard Apostle Gabar mention something in the video. I can't recall what video it was, but he mentioned something that really shook me. Well, not shook me, it just confirmed it, and really, it was deep, because he said, how, no, matter of fact, the title of the video was Gut Check. He was like, we all got to go through a gut check, and it's true. Could you, and when the way he was breaking it down, it reminded me of that movie Heat, where Robert De Niro's character, I don't remember the name of the character, but he was saying how there's nothing in his life that he couldn't walk away from in, what he say, 1 point something seconds is whatnot. Like, he would be able to leave everything to if he felt the heat coming. And that's how you got to be with this truth. He was saying, Apostle Kabar was saying, how is it anything that you could you walk away from anything and everything in this life, to hold fast to the truth. And that's how you got to be in this thing at the end of the day. Because, my personal testimony, I'm not going to go into it, but, the Most High brought me very, very low. And, but at the end of the day, my belief is he does reward faithfulness. And that's what Apostle Gabar, basically, that's the point of me bringing it up. He said he been in the truth so long and he's seen too much to, he's seen too much. And I haven't been in the truth nowhere near, not an inkling of the amount of time those great men have been, but yet still I have seen some things just on the little short amount of time I have been in. So at the end of the day, Lord will Adawan Ratazad, he doesn't take the truth or the spirit from me, because I will know what to do with myself. I don't want to sound like a weak individual. Because I know what I've been through, and some things, Lord will, he doesn't put me through or test me with, but not to digress, like I said, because at the end of the day, he has provided for me. The Most High, at the end of the day, I've never had to, you got some bugged out Jake that eat out the trash can, that smoke cigarettes off the ground. I've never had to resort to a lot of things, although I have been brought low. I still have my faculties. I've been out and about and amongst, to a certain extent, never to compare myself, and I'm not trying to be haunty, but I can imagine to a certain extent, like somebody told me, I remember I went to visit this Methodist church right when I was getting into the truth. I wasn't in the truth, but I was going through my testimony, and I was, running because I'm getting spiritually attacked, and I didn't know what to do. You know what I mean? So I went to this church, and come to find out, there's demons all in there. So I understand what the apostles be speaking on that. These churches, but anyhow, half of them, these pastors are masons and shit. I mean, the church I went to, he actually comes out. They did it like it was like fucking the Grabbies or something. I mean, like one day they just held on, yeah, and 33rd degree Mason, such and such. I say, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like real shit. So at the end of the day, anyhow, but what did I say that to say? I brought that up for a reason. It just slipped my mind. That's Satan because it was an edifying point I was getting at. At the end of the day, you know, like I said, you got to be ready to give up everything in His truth. And if you really have belief, I believe He'll take care of you. You know, I've witnessed that myself. So, continuing, Yahushua tells us that Yahweh knows what we need even before we ask Him. And he's quoting Matthew 6 and 8. Later in the same discourse, he says, but seek first His kingdom and His righteousness, and all these things shall be added to you, which is Matthew 6 and 33. We are always better off to obey Yahweh and to trust in His gracious sustenance than to impatiently and selfishly provide for ourselves in ways that disobey or in any way compromise His word, which I agree with. You know what I mean? I've noticed by my short time in this truth that, I've been faithful. I've been able to walk away and, just be obedient and contrite in a lot of situations. But it was one particular thing that I had trouble dealing with. And, it's funny because one of the brothers in the camp, he's actually, I guess, experienced the situation. And, at the end of the day, something he said, actually, it's actually kind of playing out. So when you just, what's that? I mean, it's something that the Christians or the phony baloney Christians like to use. They say, how did they word it? They say, let go and let God. You know what I mean? When you really live like that, life is much simpler. I ain't gonna say it's much easier, but it's a lot more simpler. You know what I mean? Because I don't think when people read these accounts, because like of course, I mean, a lot of people grew up in the church. That's how powerful the Most High is. Some kind of way, no matter if you are a complete atheist by the time you grew up, some kind of way, the scriptures and the scripts have been around you in some kind of point in your life, and I wholeheartedly believe that. But at the end of the day, this Shantan is really messing with my mind. I mean, like I have a thought in my head and it just go to a complete blur. Anya Gaira Shantan by Hashem Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua by Hashem Arakako Wadash Barakatham. Anyhow, when you so like I said, I went into a short testimony about like but when I let go and let Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua deal with it, it makes things more simpler. When a person really takes the time to read the scripture, like I never grasped the what's the word, the deftness of the scripts until you get in the truth. Like I said before, I'm pretty sure, I believe everybody has. They might say that they didn't agree with it or believe it, but they some kind of way the scripture presented to them. You know what I mean? I've known some of the most wicked people that can quote scripture, or oh yeah, know something to something about the Bible. So anyhow, you know, so like I said, but when you really walking this walk and living this, because like growing up in the pork chop eating pastors church, I'll never forget it. I remember it was a church I went to, and it was two twins, and fast as fuck, and I wanted to bang them little chicks out. You know what I mean? Real talk. It just but then when you were actually walking it, because like a lot of people have that conception, they go to church, they get their sins off. I mean, you know how the word church is. Shit, they going to church after the fucking. I knew a chick that when she wasn't at the word, but anyhow, they going to church after they done been up all night getting high and fucking and doing all kinds of stuff. So you know what I'm saying, and most of these peons are under the impression that you could sin and throw some money on the sin and then boom, God forgive you. So, and that's gonna put a lot of people in, you know, their spirit in jeopardy. You know what I mean? Like at the end, but it's all ordained to a certain extent anyway. Because if the person is of the elect, the Most High is going to create something, some kind of way, something's going to happen in that person's path. If they might bump into some kind of way. This information is going to get into their path. They're going to witness it. They're going to see it. Because at the end of the day, I truly believe that the Lord's elect will, once they hear this, they're going to, it's going to move their spirit, and they're going to, overcome all of it, like the scripture says. Matthew, no, that's not Matthew. That's Revelations 2, where it says, "He that overcome, he will. I will give." Let's get that real quick. I will give power over the nations. I think it's. Let's try. It's Revelations 2:26. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. So at the end of the day, those that are, I believe, that's my opinion, but I believe those that are of the true elect, they're gonna hold fast to this word no matter what. Anyhow, not to digress off the lesson, it says, we are always better off to obey Yahweh and to trust in His gracious sustenance than to impatiently selfishly provide for ourselves in ways that disobey or in any way compromise His word. Underlying our readiness to justify much of what we do is common but self-centered and carnal notion that as Yahweh's children we deserve the earthly best, and that it is inappropriate, even spiritual, unspiritual, to be satisfied with anything less. Grabbing or demanding what we think we deserve may be an act of rebellion against our sovereign power. I'm going to stop there.